Hi, hey, hello there. Hi, hey, hello there. This is Dan, first person looter, and checking the audio. Okay, so this video is all about me just giving my final thoughts playing the story mission of Ghost of Tsushima, and also I played a lot of the, but not all of the, side missions. Did almost all of them on the first island, just a couple on the second island, and even less on the third island. It does look like I completed Jin's Journey is completed, Mythic Tales is completed, but we have all of these, about 20 of them left. Here's the full map. So there are some question marks here now that weren't there, I don't think, last time. And definitely a lot more here, and even more here. It hasn't even been discovered yet, most of this island. So, if you've been watching me play this, then you will be all too aware that my biggest problem with the game is the combat. And it's a combat game, and I say that about a lot of these games, I guess, but I don't think the people were herky-jerky like they were in like the Uncharted games. It wasn't that they were really just totally unpredictable and unrealistic so much, though the bosses were a little unpredictable. It was that they just kept going off camera. The headline of my review is I can't see. I can't see. I cannot see what I'm doing in this game. Whether that be, it's a lot during the fighting. When I'm fighting, I'll move the camera around to see the guy because they keep going off camera every time you try to hit them. If you do hit them or if they've dodged, they always go off to the sides and behind the camera, and I gotta spin the camera around. I'm constantly spinning the camera around because I can't see them, and sometimes I'll hear the wing noise, which means there's the flash, and it's either red or blue. I don't know. The wing, it sounds the same whether it's blue or red. And some of those wing, if they're blue, I can usually dodge it, but sometimes the wing is red and I can't dodge it. But when all I hear is wing and I don't see a color, I don't know what to do. I guess the safe thing is to dodge, but it just makes the game that much more difficult. So these people are constantly going off screen. I'm constantly moving the camera around to try to find them. But whenever the camera moves around, it always goes around to some object that gets between the player's eyes, and the target that I'm going after. A tree, a wall, another character. Sometimes I don't move the camera into an object. The object comes to me, like a person, some other enemy walks in front of the camera. There's the bushes, the leaves, the grass. There's always stuff that comes into frame. When I had to do the standoffs, if I was doing a standoff, it would place me in an area where there's plants that are all in the way. When I tried to look up at rocks to even climb, I would go low to the ground. There was me trying to climb the towers to get to the shrine at the top, and there was all this grass getting in my way. There was just so much stuff in the way. When riding my horse, trees would come and like they wouldn't dissolve past me. They would go right past me like that, and I'm like almost flinching and almost like tickled my eyes. I can't explain the feeling, but it was just like I did not like it. There's just I cannot see. I can't see. I can't see. That is my least favorite part of the game. What I did like about the game was the story. When I could follow it, it was my fault for choosing the Japanese dialogue. I thought it would be a good idea. I love the performances, even though I don't understand the language, so it's hard for me to even know, like, oh, did he land that particular word really well? I don't know. But hearing the voice and reading the words, they always matched up enough that even though I don't know what word was said with a crack in his throat, let's say, there's a sentence, oh, this happened, and blah, 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 and it was really, really sad. Maybe his voice cracks during one of the words, but I don't you know, I can see the English words, but I don't know which word he's speaking in Japanese was the word that he had a cracked voice at. But it was still nice. Their performances were nice. But anyway, having the dialogue be in another language, I had to keep reading subtitles, which means I kept having to take my eyes off of the map or just the screen. And I've had that problem with other games where I just keep looking at like the mini map to see where I'm going. This luckily didn't even need a mini map. It was just wind, which was fantastic. That was a great idea to have wind guide you without needing a mini map that you're constantly staring at. But with the Japanese subtitles, it turns out I was looking down at a specific area anyway to read the subtitles. So I'm iffy on that. It's not a bad thing, but it's not the best thing. So that's why I'm saying it after the things I hated. Here's sort of a neutral thing about the game that was okay. Loved the dialogue, loved hearing the language. It made it a little bit more immersive, but it was difficult to see where I was going and see what I was doing a lot of the time. I do really love the look of the game. I guess it's just my bias that I prefer such realistic games. So much do I prefer them that when I hear someone say, "Oh, a game looks amazing. It's the most beautiful game I've ever seen," I just automatically assume, which you shouldn't do, that the game is super realistic looking. With the textures and the details and all that stuff. But this game, there's definitely a cartoonishness to it, but a very detailed cartoon. Illustration, it looks very illustrated, but very detailed illustration, very detailed painting, but still painting-y. Like, look at these, the wood on each corner. It's very stair-steppy. Even each of these little metal rings, the very top portion that looks kind of rusted, the very edge of it, of the line where it curls down and around, it looks like a straight line and then a straight line. It's really not actually that curvy. But that's okay. That doesn't matter. So this game is not trying to go for ultra realism. It's not trying to be Red Dead Redemption 2 on ultra settings on a PC that can somehow add the ray tracing and do all this stuff and make it look like we're seeing an actual movie. This definitely was not that, but it gave it sort of a friendly style, which I wouldn't think would work for a game that's supposed to be so serious and dark, but I think it kind of worked. I think it worked. Because their land is definitely colorful and beautiful, and the colors go well with the design of how it's actually drawn and illustrated. And so I really like that. And the music, I really, really like the music. Even though I got a little, not annoyed, I got a little tired of the Japanese flute. Oh, I forgot to bring my record. I said I was going to bring my record, but whatever. I have a record that sounds exactly like that. But yeah, that melody was starting to get to me, and the sound of that flute was starting to get to me. It's very high pitched, very just not really my thing. But the orchestrated stuff, the cellos, oh my gosh, it sounded so like Hollywood and just so grand. And I'm sure they must have had a real orchestra recording all of this stuff. And yeah, I was talking about the dialogue was great. It was well spoken, even if I didn't really understand it. So yeah, all the dialogue was very good. The acting was good. When I replay this, I'll probably replay it with English, just so I don't have to keep staring at the screen and I can be more immersed in the world. And that way the animation of their mouths match up with what they're saying as well. Even though it's hard to get a little annoying at the end and a little repetitive, I still liked having like birds show me around and the crickets show me around, hint that I'm near places, even though the crickets were the most difficult thing to understand where they were trying to take me. But I know I can use some of my, I can program the wind to go in the direction that I need to go with secret locations, undiscovered locations. And there's that black smoke way back there, almost in the center, to the right of this big metal pole that I'm standing in front of. I thought all the boss fights were interesting, how they, a lot of people say, oh, boss fights are in these arenas. It's always in a big circular arena. We don't like boss fights that look like that, people say. Some people say. And these were all specifically in a circle, but not an arena, but a circle. But even so, it was really, I thought it was well done. The environments were so different and so pretty. And it's such a, the gameplay is so different because you're locked onto this person. And it's just one-on-one rather than the 3 or 4 people that you're fighting at once and whipping your camera. This is a lot more controlled, and I thought that was an interesting little change of pace. So having it in a circle was not that bad. Plus, the final boss wasn't in a circle. He was on a boat, and the barrels to explode, and they went all out. They did all sorts of different stuff. You fight him locked on, but then you fight him like a regular person, with regular enemy, with other regular enemies. So that was pretty cool. I'm shocked at how much supplies are required for all these different upgrades. I'm a little sad that most of these customizations are just cosmetic. But the charms are a good idea to give you stuff. The charms look so basic, just wood blocks. Like a shoelace. Not a shoelace, but something through the hole. I can't believe they killed the horse again. I don't know what it is about these games. Horses are dying. It's not the first game where horses die. I don't know why video game people have it in for horses and the dogs. It's why they have animals being killed. I don't like it. Like, I get your point. It's a sad story. You don't need to go ahead and kill an animal to actually make me upset. But then again, I love The Last of Us Part 2 for being so overly horrific that it makes you not want to play the game again. And that actually made me want to play the game a lot more. Can I think of anything else? I am not too wild about the menu being black and white. It's hard to see where I am. You can't zoom in too far. I wish I could zoom in a little bit further. I'm looking at all these little details here. Oh, I had something that I was just going to say now that I actually did love. Shoot. That's a big, oh. Got something over here. To my right? Oh, to my right, so over here. But navigation was good, except for the black and white map. It would be nice if it was color and I could zoom in a bit further, but it was easy to navigate the map. And the wind, which I discussed, was very cool. There have been a couple other review videos where after I recorded it, I realized there was some other stuff that I wanted to say, and so I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, one of the things I didn't like, which I've mentioned throughout it, was I wish it was a little bit easier to change outfits. I didn't like to have to come to the menu each time, hit gear, go to outfit, go over to this thing, scroll down, click it, find the armor that I want. It would be nice if I could, like, hide or disable any armor that I wasn't going to use, because I tended to just go between two of them. The Traveler's armor, whereas this is called a tire for when I'm going between places, and then the fighting armor for when I'm actually fighting. And sometimes it was that, but mostly it was this one. So it would have been nice if there was like a hot button in order to do it. I feel like the techniques did not always work. The buttons were not doing what I wanted them to do half the time, and this is not the first game at all that this has happened, where I feel like I'm doing stuff and it's not working like I was told it would. So either there's just something about how I process video games, or it's something with my controller, or both, that I keep running into the same issues in these games. In additionally, I don't know. There's a lot of moves to learn, and I was having difficulty figuring them all out, but maybe it was my buttons. People seem to be running a lot faster than I'm ready to. It's hard to catch up with them. Some of these collections, I didn't really know what they were supposed to be. Oh, so lighthouses. There's collections of lighthouses. That's why I'm always lighting lighthouses. It takes me a long time to get into. Oh. It takes me a long time to get to be familiar with the menu. So I'm struggling with that for a while. I guess that covers it. I mean, I'll keep doing completionist stuff, and maybe I'll have more stuff to say as I'm... Where the hell is everybody? It's to my right.
旗をお持ちください。謀反者の槍川家が猛虎と戦っているという噂があります。奴らは心変わりしたという声も聞きますが、はてさて。
槍川の民は志村殿に加勢したぞ。あの町も大勢の死者を出した。
さようでございますね。過去は忘れられずとも、今我らが見るべきはこの先のことでしょう。
その昔、槍川の戦士は英雄であった。謀反者が全て死んだ今、恥をすすぐ機会を得たのだ。
あなた様のご助力、ありがたく存じます。
Oh, there. Look at this. Other things here. What I currently have, Storm Wind. Because he is named Wind, yes. I think that might fit him a little bit better. So yeah, it takes a lot of stuff to buy upgrades. A little more difficult than I'd like, but that's not a major thing at all. The combat was really my most negative thing. There was always something in the way for me to see. If there wasn't something in the way for me to see, buttons weren't doing what I expected them to do. They either didn't do what I wanted at all, or they did it twice. Sometimes I would dodge twice when I only hit it once, or I wouldn't dodge at all. And the fact that it kept not dodging at all made me even more want to press dodge twice. And I really shouldn't. I still have... Yeah, there's a lot of armor. I wish you could kind of sell some of this stuff.
礼を言
So
う。
there's that. So, alright, if I think of anything else, I'll cover it in my, I'll cover it while I'm playing other games,
さあ
other
うちの道
levels.
具を見ていってください。お役に立ててください。
Okay. So with that said, these have been my final thoughts, having played the story mission and a lot of sides on Ghost of Tsushima. And I will continue later on with the side missions. I am Dan, first-person looter, hacking and slashing my way through Ghost of Tsushima. These were my final thoughts. See you as we finish the rest on this island. Thanks, bye.